And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents live here in Los Angeles. We're wrapping up day one as Amazon is beginning their Black Friday deals early. It's been great being able to share some great deals with you guys, but also some great conversations. And I could not end the day without talking to a guest that we first interviewed on the radio show on Conversations Live in 2014. At the time, you guys got to know him because of the haves and have-nots on the Open Info Network. He's done a lot since then. I'm talking about Jerome Brooks. He's not only a best-selling author, he has his own management company. He's starring in films like The Caregiver, you guys can watch right now for free on Tubi. And he's been recognized recently in a lot of different ways, including the beginning of this year in Baltimore, actually having a street named after him. We're going to talk about that, as well as let you guys know what's to come. Ro, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Beautiful intro.
Oh, man,
Thanks,
look,
Cyrus, man.
look.
Good to
Well,
see you,
well, I
man.
had 10 years to practice. So no,
Oh,
just
man, you gonna rub that in my face? Okay, it wasn't my fault.
okay,
It was
no,
your fault.
Look,
It has been 10 years.
it's been 10 years, 2014. So I want to talk about this decade for you, man, because again, a lot of us, myself included, got to know you through the haves and have-nots.
Right.
But now that is just one of many things you've done in front of the camera in the community. What has it been like for you to see your work recognized?
Oh man, it's an awe feeling. Like
Mhm.
every day, it's an awe feeling. It's like you can't believe you have to consistently pinch yourself. Just being an actor and just having people fall in love with your characters on different shows.
Mhm.
It's a dream come true.
Mhm.
So I'm grateful. Yeah.
Have you always known that you were going to do something that would touch the world the way it has? I mean, you may not have known in the beginning it was going to be acting, but have you always known you had something that was going to touch the world?
I always did. Yeah, I always felt like I was gonna do something different than the norm or than what my neighborhood offered.
Mm.
So I know growing up, most of my homeboys, they did, participated in a lot of different things,
Mhm.
and I felt like that wasn't for me. God had something for me. I know it is because I never felt any pressure to do certain things.
Mhm.
None at all. It was
Wow.
easy. Like I never smoked in my life.
Mhm.
Never had a cigarette. Never had any kind of extracurricular,
Mhm.
activity,
Mhm.
drugs.
Mhm.
Never drank a beer or wine.
Mm.
None of it.
Okay.
But I've never been, like pressured or felt like I needed to have it or I wanted to try it.
Wow.
And that's how my whole life has been. So I know it has to be a reason.
Interesting. I love that. I love that you shared that because it goes to another thing. As I mentioned, you actually are wearing it here, Jerome Brooks Way. I mean, you posted about that on your social. People can go to your website, robrooks.com, and we've actually tagged it for you guys watching us. What was it like for you to get that recognition?
So I'm trying to tell you, man, this is amazing. Like, I really can't even put it into words how I feel daily about this. Just imagine I'm from one of the most violent cities in the world. It's not anything to be proud of, but it is one of the most violent cities in the world. Crime is really high. And I'm from a neighborhood that birthed a lot of that. A lot of my friends got killed on those same streets right in front of this neighborhood. And I'm from this block. I'm from the 1800 block of Edmondson Avenue. This is on the corner of the 1900 block that sits right next door to my actual business. I had music stores back then. I used to own music stores. So the store was called Sounds in the Hood. So it was placed on that corner. So me at 5 years old, living up the street, would have never imagined that I would have a street named after me. And then to have friends call me and say, Ro, I'm on Jerome Brooks Way. Man, look, I'm tripping. I'm still tripping. I'm telling you, I'm going to always trip over this.
Well, and like you said, there's been other things too, but there's nothing like home, right? I have felt the same way being from Mississippi. When to get other accolades are great,
Yes.
but it's nothing like your home recognizing you.
Exactly.
But the city, though, that you have spent so much of your time, though, Ro, is also paying attention to you.
Yes.
That has to feel good to know that the hard work is paying off. What would you say was that moment for you? As I mentioned, for us, it was the Oprah Winfrey Network, work with Tyler Perry, being on that show. But what has been that moment for you that you have felt like, okay, I'm where I belong?
I'm where I belong. Honestly, I felt like it when I did my first extra job.
Really?
Yeah, in
Okay.
'93.
Whoa.
Robert Townsend came to Baltimore and he was filming The Media Man. And this would have been my first job. And because prior to that, I was afraid of just not knowing what this business held. Nobody that I knew was ever an actor. Nobody could help me or teach me anything. So when this film came to the city, I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to submit my stuff because it was on the radio. And they told us what we needed. Polaroid, you know. For those who don't know what a Polaroid picture is,
right.
You know, an instant camera, blow them or shake them, and then they develop. So I had to get one of those, take a picture of myself, and then I had to put my name and everything on my, you know, my height and all that on the actual photo, mail it to the address that they had given us. And wasn't no email back then, you know, so mailed it out. Lo and behold, I get a phone call, and they said that I'll be on the movie as an extra playing one of the Golden Lords. It's a gang member. And I'll never forget it. My first day on set, I ran into Robert Townsend, and I never was treated like a background actor. Never, because you can go, I've done background work and it can be horrific, you know, but he treated me like I was a part of the cast, and so did other people that I ran into the entire day. And instantly, when I stood on the set with all those cameras out on the open street, I said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. And here you are. And for those who don't know, not only, of course, as an actor that's being recognized for his work, he's built a management company. We're going to get into that. Right. Also, of course, you are a best-selling author. You decided to not only to act, but also to share. You pour out a lot because you do acting classes too.
Yes.
We hadn't talked about that in the decade since he's been on, but that's
I'm not doing that decade thing. Okay, all right, I got one for you.
That way, fine. But okay, so okay. I want to ask you about that because I think this is setting the stage for the kind of person you are. Right. Because, like you said, you grew up knowing you were meant for something. Have you always known that you were also going to pour into others, that you were going to reach back and try to share what you learned with others?
I did, but I didn't know how at the same time.
Okay.
When I was 17, I started a management company, right? Not really knowing what I was doing, but I knew I could do it because I used to rap and dance and beatbox and DJ. I did all that. But it seems to me like when I was coming up, along with my peers, I seemed to have the information, or at least they thought I did, because everybody would come to me asking me for information. So I started my company because I felt like maybe I do have something. So I started, you know, helping rap acts, developing their skills, performance-wise or whatever, writing raps, R&B groups, you know, helping them do their thing, set their shows up. This is what I did at 17 years old.
Wow.
So from that, you know, a lot of things transpired, but through my entire life, just going forward, I was always the person that people would turn to act and ask these questions. So in this business, the acting business, that's what happened. Everybody was, even actors that were already on would come to me and ask me things, ask me questions. And I was like, I'm giving these answers, but I feel like I want to give more. And that's how it all started. You know, that's how it all started. Like, okay, I think I'm a source. I feel like something that people connect into. And like Jesus, I'm a server.
Yeah.
You know,
and that has come through in all seriousness. It's come through in a lot of what you've done, because I remember when, you know, you and I had our conversation, just in following you over the years, that you've always been there trying to not only to do your thing, but also to support other people. I want to ask about the support system for a moment. And I should let our audience know this is a multi-layered conversation we're having with Ro, not for the reason I've already mentioned, but because he's also going to be featured in our January issue of Conversations magazine that's coming out. So we are using this conversation to kind of talk about the journey of this year, but also his career for those who have not been keeping up with it, and let them know what's coming. But I want to ask you about support system and the people you surround yourself with. I have found in my life that you need people that are going to push you, but also people that are not going to keep you from where you're meant to be. Right.
Yes.
What has it been like for you to recognize that? Because you're in an industry that's not always easy. So what has it been like for you to recognize those groups of people that will push you, but also that really will drain you if you let them?
Well, as I said before, I'm from Baltimore.
Mhm.
And if you can make it in Baltimore, you can make it anywhere. And because Baltimore is also a multi-layered city, you have to think on your feet. I'm from the
Mhm.
hood.
Mhm.
So you have to be wise. You have to just be alert at all times. And you have to be able to learn how to pick out good people versus bad people who
Mhm.
have, good things that they want to be a part of with you or share with you and help you, or those that have ulterior motives.
Mhm.
And just coming, because New York is the same way. You have people where you have to hurry up really quickly and decide whether they're good for you or they're here for a different reason.
Gotcha.
So I learned early on how to decipher who's good and who's bad for me. But then coming from Baltimore to a new place, which is California, I mean, this is the place for acting and all entertainment. Um, People come out here for all kinds of reasons. You got scammers that come out here just because they know a lot of actors. I think it's like 1 million or more actors come out here a month.
Wow.
Looking for success.
Wow.
So those scammers, they come too because they feel like we can pitch an idea to these guys and make them do what we want to do because they're green and they don't know the industry. So you have to be aware of all that. But when I came out, it wasn't really hard figuring it out because I don't need to be around a lot of people to feel, not to be lonely. What I mean? I feel good by myself. I don't need a lot of people to validate me. And I got God. I'm definitely, I'm Christian. So,
Yeah.
that's what it's been for me. It wasn't really hard, but I had ran into some who thought they could, be a part of something that they weren't meant to be a part of.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dr. Vilma also joining us. She was one of my interviews today here in Los Angeles. She said, yes, our inner circle is expensive real estate, so we choose carefully. I love that.
Yeah.
Janice is also here in California. She said street creds and discernment. So true. And that is the big point here. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because in your career, Ro, you've worked with some amazing people. I mentioned The Caregiver, and if you guys have not seen it on Tubi, I mean, of course, people are already looking for part 2.
Yeah.
So
am I. It's coming.
Okay. So I wasn't even going to ask y'all.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to ask.
This is what I heard.
Okay.
I'm not the director, producer, whatever, but this is what I heard.
But you are one of the stars of a great cast. What was that process like? Because that's a different kind of character for you.
Right.
What was it like for you to be a part of that cast? Which is why I was interested in you surrounding yourself, because everyone in there, they brought it.
Yeah.
You've worked with other projects that the actors with you brought it. What was it like for you to be a part of The Caregiver and to see the response to it?
Well, it was a great script off the back. I loved the script. I was all in as soon as, I was offered the position. And I know my character had to be vulnerable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a person who loves challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've never done that on television, then that was something that I wanted to bring full circle to see if I could do it for one, and then to let you guys judge if I did a great job. But I definitely wanted to take on that challenge.
Bro, what I liked about that film, if you guys have not seen it, again, you can see it for free on Tubi. You do not see a lot of people who look like us in roles like that.
I know.
With those kind of stories, with caregiving, and that's what impressed me so much. And the fact that you had a situation where you had a husband and a wife both in the home.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to say, you know what I'm saying? That's not something we always see.
Yeah.
What was that layer like for you to bring that and to show that not only the possibilities of that, but also that representation?
Repeat the question.
Yeah. What was it like for you to show that representation on camera and these characters, but also to portray that a situation where you have a couple that's dealing with challenges and getting through it?
Well, it was great. It was great. I felt like you don't get to see a lot of powerful Black couples happy together, building something significant. And at the same time, we're raising a son who has an ailment, So when you're raising someone who has, an ability defect or what have you, and we both have to work, but you know, we have this love, and you can feel it when you watch it. You can feel the chemistry that we have, and that's what I like about working with great cast, because you know how to channel those emotions to work for the audience. So yeah, just us having that family unit, because you don't see it much. Dark skinned me, you don't see a lot of that. And then just us being African Americans, just getting along. And when you look at like the Jeffersons or Good Times, you know, you look at those strong Black families. Like I feel like James, you know how powerful James was? I feel like that, protecting my family, being there for my family. The Cosby Show at their finest, you know, those kind of things. So we haven't seen that image in a long time. So for us to bring that back, and you get to see a family working together, not only just a husband and wife that's in love with each other, having great success, but also taking care of a child with a disability. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, amazing, man. I mean, I loved it, and I too am looking forward to
what's to come with it. Robert, hello to you. Robert, hey, I'm good to see you. So last thing I want to talk to you about is the company, because as you mentioned, and this is good for our audience to know, that having a management company is not new for you.
Right. It's funny.
Yeah, it's not new for you. So talk to us about what's happening now, because you're working with some great people. What is some of them we've had on our broadcast and on Amazon? What has it been like for you to have that trust from people?
Well, as I said, man, it's amazing, because when I was 17, as I said, I started my first management company, but I had no idea. Like, okay, back then when I did that, it felt like I wanted to do it, but people weren't really honest, right? So it gave me a negative feel in my mouth, like a negative taste. Like I need people that I can trust.
Yeah.
And back then, you know, I was getting a short end of the stick kind of because it felt like no one was putting in the same amount of work that I was putting in. But then I wasn't being inclusive in things that were happening, right? So I had no idea. I had no interest in doing any more management. I said, you know what? All the energy that I'm putting into management, I'm gonna put it into myself and see what I can do for me. So now, fast forward all these years later, after, you know, writing the book, because I'm a server, as I said, I love to find ways to do something for myself that could also overflow and help someone else. So I always create different businesses where I'm a part of it and I can help a lot of other people. So we did the book. And the book is called How to Go From Extra to Actor. And as you said, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on my website, robrooks.com. So I created the book. Then I did acting classes. And these things happen because people constantly ask me, how do I do this? How do I get an agent? What does SAG mean? What is a union? I'm getting all these questions. And I was like, let me write this book, you know, because I always said once I got to a place where I could feel like people would listen to me from a success that I might have had, then I'll go ahead and write the book, because my road was tough because I didn't have any assistance, right? And I ran into a lot of brick walls. So now writing the book, then like I said, I started acting classes, and then I got a little busy, and I had to go from a full class to just doing individual one-on-ones and things like that. And then I'm still at the stage now where people are asking more questions still. And I'm like, what else can I do to help actors? What else can I do? What's the most important thing actors need that's hard to come by? Boom. It was management and agent. I said, I'm gonna start one of the two. And I said, which one fits me best? And I know agents, to me, are more so, I would say, an acquaintance. But managers are more like your friends, because you talk to your managers a lot more than you do your agents. And I'm a friendly person, and I like to talk to people. So I felt management would be the best arena for me, and it's been great.
Yeah, and you work with some amazing people. So that leads us to my last question then. What's next? You've done so much. Started off this year on the high that has continued throughout the year. What should we be on the lookout for next?
Okay, well, we're still building Brooks Talent Management is the name of the management company. Still building, 5 years strong now, over 200 clients. And we're opening up, developing, more departments. Like we just opened a storyboard department. So we signed storyboard artists now. We signed directors, writers. We've always had actors, stunt professionals, dancers and choreographers, Instagram influencers. So, we're just broadening our horizon. The more we run into people that we feel like we could help, be incorporated into the company. That's one thing. The other thing is I have a new film. It's called Adam. I can't really talk about it, but I play a guy that I've always wanted to play on a serious level. And we go into production first quarter of 2025. Okay. So it's called Adam. You guys look out for that. Eventually you'll start seeing some things on my Instagram page, Robrooks _. And it's one of those roles. And I've played this role before, but it was on television. But now, when you go from TV to film, you really get to express yourself. So I'm going ham on this joint.
All right. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Again, everyone, Jerome Brooks has been our guest here at Cyrus Webb Presents Conversations LA. We've been talking about his amazing year, his career, what it's been like for him to be a source and impact in the lives of others, but also what's coming up. Hello to you, Ellen. I see you over there on YouTube. So you mentioned the website earlier. Let them know how to stay connected with you again.
Yeah. So the website is robrooks.com, ROBROOKS. And my Instagram page is Robrooks _. Also have a Facebook page. You could do Robrooks, and I also have Today's Leading Man fan page. That's Robrooks as well.
All right. Well, man, congratulations to you again, man.
Thank
Glad
you,
to be able to have you on with us.
Good to see you again after 10 years, baby.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be staying connected. Definitely. As I mentioned, he will be on the cover of the December-January issue of Conversations magazine. You'll be able to find this conversation as well as some great pictures as well. Thanks, you guys, for being with us for day one. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow for day two here in Los Angeles. Until then, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.